So something that I find so interesting is the complaints that I get from clients. I try not to be a complainer, but I also live in an area that I absolutely love, so I don't have a lot to complain about. But it is really funny when I help people that move to Georgia, especially the East Coast, and they learn about all of the things that they just like about Georgia. So one of the really funny ones to me is always the bugs. Like, I'm not a bug girl. I don't want spiders. I don't want cockroaches. Like, you can call them palmetto bugs. I don't give a shit what you call them. They are roaches. They are big. They fly. I don't want nothing to do with them. Okay. My husband knows if he comes home and there's a cup sitting on top of something, there's probably a bug under it that I need him to squish. Okay. So we get a lot of bug comments. We have a lot of people who don't understand termites. They don't understand like the wood infesting beetles. Just little stuff like that, the little German cockroaches. So that's always an interesting factor that people just don't realize are so prevalent down here. It's just the sheer amount of freaking bugs. Then they complain a lot about the love bugs, the black, like big flies, drain flies, mosquitoes, and no-see-ums, and sand gnats. So we have stages. We have stages throughout the year that these things partake. Most of the time, I just advise get a screen porch. Just get you a screen porch, but make sure that screen porch has the specific screen in it that does not allow the no-see-ums and the sand gnats to come through. Okay, and they always ask me what's the difference between sand gnats and no-see-ums. Some people say they're the exact same thing. I choose to believe that they are not, because some areas have them and some areas don't. Some are a little bigger than the others. And I mean, like, sand gnats are the East Coast of Georgia's national bird. Okay. We had a whole baseball team named after them at one point. So, the bugs in general are just such a misnomer to people when they move here. The other is traffic. I tell people all the time, where do you want to live? And when they tell me I want to be up here or down here, and I say, okay, do you like traffic or do you hate traffic? How do you feel about hour-long commute that should be 20 minutes? And based off of that, I tell them, okay, well then you need to be up here or you need to be down here. If you like traffic, it doesn't bother you, then go north on 95 above Brunswick and McIntosh County. If you don't like traffic, then go south. Simple as that. As a realtor, I do work north of, like, it's really like the Midway line. Like, the literal city of Midway is like the Midway line. Anything above Midway, anything north of Midway on 95, I do it. But I have to really like you as a client to do it, because the traffic is so atrocious. And I'm like, I can't get to you in a timely fashion. I don't know that I'll be able to get to you on time. So it's not that I don't want to help you in that area. I just don't physically know if I can get there. It's that simple. Anything south of Midway, we are straight cruising. Okay. We get 4 lanes down here on both sides of the interstate, or I think at one point it goes into 5, like, and turn lanes. Like, we get a lot less congested down here. You run into Brunswick, you get a little bit of congestion at a few red lights at an exit, but they have so many flipping exits to get into Brunswick. We don't really have these issues. We just don't. So if you're coming here and you are going to complain about traffic, just plan to live below Midway or in Midway, the Midway line, somewhere that direction. Richmond Hill is usually kind of safe if you're going south, but if you're trying to travel in Richmond Hill or go north, it's a no-go too. You're hitting the traffic. Okay. Lastly, I have a lot of people that see the coast and they're like, oh, we have a boat and we enjoy going out in the water and the lakes and the Gulf. And I'm like, okay, we need to go out. Let's take a boat ride. Let's grab the GPS and let's take a boat ride. Because what they don't understand 99% of the time is we don't have normal tides. Okay. Like, our coast, we have, 8, 9, sometimes 10, sometimes 6, 7, usually 8-foot tide swings. Okay. And if you don't know what a tide swing is, it's basically where the water comes in and then it goes back out. Don't think that you're going to just get a little stuck on a sandbar and in about an hour, you're going to have enough water to shimmy on off that sandbar. No. You're in it for the long haul. At least 8 hours, possibly more, depending when you landed on the sandbar. And the oyster beds and, hurricanes cause the water to move, which causes the sand to move, which causes sandbars to physically, in their entirety, move, get larger, get smaller. get divots down the middle. So now where you could ride on this side of the sandbar, now you have to go in the middle of the sandbar because the sandbar is split. A lot of people don't realize this. They get stuck all the time. And so I tell people with boats who are moving down here or buying a boat, when they get down here, I'm like, let's go take a ride. Okay, do you have a GPS? Do you have a marker, like a GPS marker, that when you're driving your little boat through our little creeks, that it is mapping where to go and where not to go, and it has a depth finder on it, because we can map it through and navigate and draw you a line. Because without that, until you get used to it, you're gonna wreak havoc. Like it's gonna happen. You're gonna get stuck. Even the best of us who live down here and navigate these waters have been stuck. Okay, it just happens. But they get stuck more frequently most of the time because they just don't understand. They don't understand. And then when you tell them there are these massive tide swings, they don't want to believe it. Like, they're like, no. Like, I've been in the Gulf. I've been in the ocean. It's like 1 to 2 foot. No, baby, not over here. There is a reason why the Gulf doesn't have as many above water sandbars for you to go hang out and party on, and you're still at least ankle deep in 99% of them, versus over here where all of our sandbars are completely out of the water pretty much at some point in time or another. You may have a few that stay a little below, but it's just because the storm hasn't hit hard enough yet to raise that sand level up. So these are just a few things that a lot of people complain about when they come here, but they end up loving the area and figuring out that they're not the end of the world, because we love Georgia. We love our East Coast. We love our bugs, even though sometimes they're annoying, because they do serve purposes a lot of times, and the sand gnats don't. They're just annoying as hell. But a lot of them, do serve some kind of purpose, so we do respect them whether we like them or not. Weather can be a little crazy. Depending in the morning, you might wear a jacket, and then by the end of the day, you're, stripped down to your skivvies because you're dying of heat stroke. But you get used to it, and it becomes just a way of life. So if you're thinking of moving to Georgia, don't let these things scare you. We can work through it. There's an area for everybody, no matter if you want to be on the coast, if you want to be more rural, if you want to be in the city, if you want to be outside of the city, but city accessible. We have all the options. And I mean, truly, if you don't know what kind of weather you want, just come live here for a year and see if you can handle the constant mood swings of our weather. And if not, at least you can pick a season that you like, and then we can possibly find you a place within the state that has that season for most of the year, or at least a long portion, so you can enjoy it longer.